Hello, this is Hisako, a midwife at Babu Babu Clinic. I often visit various places like middle schools, high schools, and universities to give lectures on life. One of the most common questions I get from boys is about masturbation. Surprisingly, I also receive questions about masturbation from girls every now and then. There is a common misconception that girls don't masturbate, and just the idea of girls masturbating is often considered embarrassing. I wonder if it's because of such preconceived notions. When girls feel sexually aroused, they might feel conflicted. So today I want to take some time to talk about the topic of female masturbation. Is it considered embarrassing to seek pleasure by yourself, or is it something that people generally find acceptable? Well, I have been teaching sex education for some time, and I have quite the understanding of this topic. Yes, well, being a midwife is also a part of it. I think many sex educators and other advocates strongly reject the notion that women finding pleasure in themselves or the idea of female masturbation is something to be ashamed of. It is a very private matter done alone and in solitude, so it's not something to discuss openly or share with others. The fact that it is done privately and in solitude should not make it embarrassing. Rather, I genuinely believe it's a beautiful way to connect with and control both your mind and body. So I really want you to not feel embarrassed about it at all. According to statistical data, although the percentage is not as high as that of men, when examining women roughly within the age range of 20 to 60, over 60% have reported that they have engaged in masturbation. So men might do it around 3 or 4 times a week, but women do it less frequently. There are few, but it varies from person to person. Some women, like men, might do it 2 or 3 times per day. And this is not abnormal at all. That's also normal. Some women might say they've never done it and don't intend to. And that's also normal. So whether you do it or not, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's not about being abnormal or normal. It's just about being an ordinary woman living her life. I think there's no need to be overly fixated on that. By the way, it might not be something I should say openly, but I do masturbate occasionally. So when exactly do I do it? I've wondered when or what causes engage in it. Usually it's when my mental state is down. Well, it's usually when I feel completely overwhelmed with work, my mind is racing, and I'm exhausted, or when I desperately want to shut my mind off but can't. Sometimes it's after facing a challenging situation at work or with parenting, when my mental state is really low. Other times, when I want to refresh my emotions, or when I want to sleep, but I can't fall asleep. It's usually at these moments I masturbate that I can really easily go to sleep. Truly, I can go to sleep really well, so I think I tend to do it mostly during those specific times. That's why, it's almost as if God is sending a signal to make my mind go completely blank for a moment and is like, go to sleep, like ordering me to do it. Personally, that's what I think. So, from a medical standpoint, when it comes to female masturbation and what effects it has on the body, reaching orgasm induces a state where 2 specific hormones are secreted. Oxytocin, is released during the act of breastfeeding, or when you embrace someone you're really close to, or even when you feel genuinely happy. It's often referred to as the happiness hormone. A hormone called oxytocin is released when you experience an orgasm. Another one is this, often referred to as the brain's narcotic hormone, called endorphin. It's a hormone that can numb the brain. You know how you feel temporarily happy when you eat something sweet? When people are stressed, some individuals turn to food as a coping mechanism. Consuming sweet things can temporarily raise blood sugar levels, which in turn leads to the release of endorphins and oxytocin from the brain. So at this moment you feel happiness and satisfaction. That's why people turn to food in case of stress. But when you turn to food, you'll likely gain weight, and it's generally considered unhealthy, right? So if you release oxytocin and endorphins through masturbation, I think it'll help you feel more relaxed, relieve stress, sleep better, and be less dependent on food, which will be healthier overall. Medically, this is what is said. Also, you get good sleep. If you sleep well, the quality of your sleep improves, right? That means your performance the next day improves, your activity level goes up, your mind is sharper, and your performance improves. You can move very efficiently every day. And if you want to sleep, masturbating at night helps you sleep a lot. On days when you have a lot to accomplish and need to work hard, starting the day with a happy and positive feeling can be a great way to fuel yourself. This is why the concept of morning masturbation is often considered beneficial. It is suggested that you adjust according to your lifestyle, whether you choose to do it at night or in the morning. Yes, and also because the stress is relieved, there is evidence that it is linked to dieting, as you don't gain weight from stress eating. It also helps regulate your autonomic nervous system. Masturbation is connected to the autonomic nervous system, which regulates involuntary functions like heart rate, blood flow, and digestion. When you digest food, you're not consciously controlling the process. It happens automatically, right? These unconscious body movements, such as temperature regulation, are controlled by the autonomic nervous system. It is said that masturbation can help regulate this system. So what exactly happens when your autonomic nervous system is properly regulated? First, your immunity improves. You become less prone to illness, and it also benefits your mental health, reducing the risk of mental disorders. The likelihood of such issues being triggered decreases. From a medical standpoint, it's also suggested that masturbation may help reduce the risk of postpartum depression or anxiety. Also, because it improves blood flow and helps regulate the autonomic nervous system, it can also alleviate issues such as cold sensitivity and constipation. Swelling and similar issues will also decrease, and then their skin turnover, which is the cycle of cell regeneration, will be more active as a result of improved blood circulation, and also your basal metabolic rate improves. This in turn can lead to healthier skin, making masturbation beneficial from a beauty standpoint as well. When your autonomic nervous system is regulated, blood flow improves. Additionally, by providing a moderate and pleasant level of sexual stimulation, the capillaries around the genitals expand. This expansion of the capillaries, in turn, enhances blood flow to the area, adding to the overall effect. What I want to say to teenage girls is that it is simply not true that girls do not get aroused, do not masturbate, or do not think about erotic things. The three major human desires are appetite, sleep, and sexual desire. These manifest strongly in some and weakly in others, influenced by factors like pregnancy. It's often said that sexual desire decreases during pregnancy and after childbirth, but conversely, there are many women who find themselves troubled by an increase in sexual desire during and after these times. There are many different patterns, so it's incorrect to make broad generalizations. Yes, so I think it's fine for people to be just as they are. And for girls in puberty, have you ever seen your own genitals? It's not something you often do. For example, parts like your arms or face are parts of your body that you see in the mirror every day. These are areas that you often touch and see, like your legs. However, there are certain parts of your body, like your genitals, that you rarely see or touch. However, by exploring and touching your genitals, a part of your body, you can discover how different types of touch and pressure make you feel. For instance, touching this part in a certain way might evoke a particular feeling, and applying pressure in another way might lead to a sense of happiness and well-being. And there might be parts of your body that you feel a bit uncomfortable touching. Getting to know your own body is a truly wonderful act. By doing so, you can recognize and understand yourself better, reaffirming that your body belongs to you, which I think is an incredibly wonderful realization. There was a period about 7 or 8 years ago when my mental health took a significant downturn and I hit rock bottom mentally. I actually attempted suicide once in my life. My mental state had deteriorated so much to the point where I genuinely felt it would be better if I didn't exist anymore. And during that time, I was seriously contemplating ending my life. At that time, I was masturbating a lot. Looking back now, I think that act was my way of feeling alive, of confirming that I existed in this world, that I had emotions, and that I could feel pain when I pinched myself. That I do have sensations, and to physically feel and realize this myself and feel that I am truly alive, that's what I think now that I reflect on it. So perhaps masturbation has a similar meaning to an act of self-affirmation. So talking about this, it's not just a concept or simply a matter of eroticism. Of course, women have sexual desires too, and sometimes we feel like having sex. These feelings obviously do happen. Isn't that a wonderful thing in itself? The deep desire to communicate, to be closer to someone special, and to embrace each other warmly is truly a wonderful and fulfilling feeling. I think the feeling of being aroused and wanting to have sex is a really wonderful emotion, so it's perfectly okay to feel that way. Well, anyway, I think that masturbation might have incredibly complex and various meanings hidden for women, so teenage girls, it's totally fine to masturbate. You might think, I'm doing it too much, my friends must not do it at all. Am I weird? You're not weird at all. Enjoy it in your own private space, in the comfort of your room where no one else can see you. It's truly a wonderful thing to feel pleasure by touching your own body. You can totally go ahead and do it. But there's something I want you to be careful about. Well, the term genitalia refers to a very important place, you know. So when you touch your clitoris or insert your fingers into your vagina, make sure your hands are clean. Always wash your hands thoroughly. Let's touch with beautiful hands, okay? And then gel. This applies to adult women as well, but gel, yes, they call it lubricant, right? There are many types of lubricants available at stores like Don Quixote. Yes, by the way, I personally keep the marshmallow gel sold at the Babu Babu store openly displayed in my bedroom. That product is essential for both during sex and masturbation. I personally use marshmallow gel, but you can use whatever you like for this purpose. However, I think it's better to use something that helps with lubrication and wetness. If you insert your fingers when it's not wet, you might end up hurting yourself with your nails, and there's also a risk of damaging your genitalia. I strongly encourage the active use of lubricating gel. Additionally, sex toys, often referred to as adult toys, should be used without hesitation. If I had to choose, I'd say please use it. You might say, no, I'm too embarrassed. No, wait a second. By using them, you can very accurately find the spots that feel good by touching them in a specific way. Knowing your own body allows you to communicate effectively with your partner during sex, which can significantly enrich your sexual life. For those who are currently moving towards a sexless direction, understanding this about themselves and communicating it to their partner can lead to a much richer sexual experience. I think it can connect to that aspect. So, sex toys. I highly recommend using them. There are many things that are said to be beneficial, and it's not just about the gel we mentioned earlier. When you use your fingers, you might end up injuring your genitals. However, by using sex toys and lubricants, you can minimize the risk of injuring the inside of the vagina. Therefore, I highly encourage the use of adult toys. I use them too, you know. There are various types. So search around and see what you might like, which might fit you the best. I think it's good to enjoy choosing what suits you, and once you find something that fits, I hope you use it. As you reach your 40s, this applies to me. Your hormone levels begin to decrease, which can lead to a reduction in vaginal secretions and also a decrease in collagen. This leads to the drying of your vaginal canal. The canal becomes more rigid, you know. And when you engage in sex in such situations, you feel dyspareunia or pain during sex. Many women in their 40s come to me with concerns about this. To prevent such issues, masturbation is highly recommended for women in their 40s. It helps them have a youthful sex life. It's also important for your body to stay healthy when you're in your 40s. Many women report experiencing significant itching, dryness, and roughness in the vulva or vaginal area. Masturbation is highly effective in preventing a variety of issues related to both mental and physical health. Therefore, in order to maintain the health and beauty of both your mind and body, I, as a medical professional and midwife, strongly recommend that women engage in masturbation. I hope that you can fully enjoy the experience of masturbation in the comfort of your own personal space. Parent Education Channel, run by a midwife who gave birth to 12 children. See you again in the next video. Bye-bye!